I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
And we're going to start from the most important position to the least important position. So goalkeepers will be first.
That's not what it says in the script.
I am
Not
the
what
captain.
it says in the script.
This is my ship.
Okay.
Well, it apparently is going down then.
All right. Well, I will still be the last one on as the rules go. Keepers, Kepa Arrizabalaga. So the scores, I had a 4, Dan had a 2, Nick had a 3, Phil had a 0. So I'm going to come to you, Phil, right away as the host and say 0. He was non-existent. Talk to me, my man. 0 is actually off the scale.
I think he might as well have been non-existent given the way the season went. I can't in good faith give him any sort of positive grade for what we saw this season. You mentioned at the outset of this podcast that Chelsea's expected goals against was considerably lower than the number of goals they actually conceded. And while not all of that is on him, I think we've all seen enough to know that he was individually responsible for numerous goals against, but it's more than just that. It's that he carries absolutely zero authority to inspire the defense in front of him. He doesn't command the areas that he should command as a goalkeeper, and the reason that he was allegedly signed for his technical prowess in possession seems to be negligible against somebody like Willy Caballero. It's the worst transfer in the history of the club purely for the amount of money that was spent on him and the returns that you've gotten on the field. And we've seen with Caballero that even a replacement standard player, we don't even have to be exceptional, improves the team's fortunes.
It's that situation where there's the stat in baseball. It's like the wins over average replacement. And it's it's my favorite stat in baseball because it's the, hey, if I put any player in this spot, what would the situation be? And, if you take the rumor right now, a Ben Foster coming in, you think about just how differently our season have been, how much easier it would have been getting to 4th place or keeping 3rd place, or maybe even putting a little bit more pressure on Man City. All of that would have been more likely with someone between the sticks who is not named Kepa. And it's very interesting you bring that up, Phil, around the transfer, because it took less than 2 years for us to find a worse transfer than Morata. And Morata was only made better because we basically broke out even on that, thanks to Atletico Madrid. There's not going to be a suitor next season who's going to be able to relieve us of the financial burden of Kepa. And this is, I think, unfortunately now a little bit of an albatross situation where we're not going to be able to quickly get out of it in the right way, Nick.
He's our Bobby Bonilla, apparently. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's wild, unfortunately, that it hasn't worked, Brendan, but unless something dramatic happens and he, just comes back and looks like he's ready to run through a wall for Frank, I just don't see it working out.
Yeah. I gave him a 4, and that's probably because I'm biased. The fact that we had an expected goals against of 37 and we conceded 54, that's bad. There's many times we remember where it was only opposition players in our 6-yard box and Kepa. Right. So there's those situations as well. But the lack of a presence, the lack of organization, leadership, to me, I gave him a 4 because it's he did the bare minimum of literally just fulfilling the role, but he didn't offer anything, for us. At least last season, Amrita Sarri, the penalty shootout with Spurs, and then we had the Europa League penalties as well. There were some moments of inspiration, but this season, look, Frank's dropped him, and I think, Phil, you make the biggest point. Willy Caballero is coming into the season being all right, number 1, here we go. And it's no, you're 39 or soon to be. That is not a situation in which Chelsea in Europe in multiple competitions need to be in. This isn't an Edwin van der Sar situation here. It's very different. So changes need to happen, obviously. With Willy Caballero, as we look to him, I gave him a 5. Dan gave him 5. Nick gave him a 7. Phil gave him a 6. So I'll go to Nick since you gave him the highest score. Is that a 7 for his abilities, or is that a 7 if you're comparing him on a flat comparison as he's a 7 out of 10 for a Premier League side?
That's a 7 given the context of what happened this year. So I think he is a leader. He clearly kind of changed fortunes when he's come into the squad both, kind of seasons he's been here. I just appreciate him not playing for months on end and then coming in and doing his job, compared to the guy that we paid $72 million for. So I'm not telling you he is a 7 out of 10 Premier League goalkeeper every week. I just think this is all contextual within our last season. So I appreciate his leadership and stepping up.
Yeah. Don't forget the Flappy Bird. There's always one cross he comes out for and just woefully misses it. Phil, you kind of talked about Caballero a little bit. Again, he's just got to be a bench spot, a cup keeper moving forward.
Yeah, he's the absolute perfect backup goalkeeper. He's experienced. He's perfectly happy playing that role at this point in his career. And I gave him a 6 because it's above average, and that's legitimately all the team needed this season. An above average goalkeeper for 38 league games and however many cup matches would have saved so many lost points. And it's just reflective of when he came into the team that you didn't have to worry about the goalkeeping position so much. You knew it was in a safe pair of hands. We're not asking him to be anything other than that at this point, and he came in and was able to do that.
Yeah. Well,
this was the most minutes he played since he played 1,260 minutes across all competitions in 14 games, which is the same he played in 2017-18. So
he's probably exhausted.
To come back from playing 9 matches all of last season to come to playing 14 and being called upon to basically, hey, I need your help. Like, here's the emergency line I'm calling you. Like, I'm calling Batman because the city is in danger. I think that was nice to see. So I'm appreciative that we had Willy there to come in and rescue some fortunes at times. Not perfect, but serviceable.